Nestled in Essex, England, Epping Forest stands as a sentinel of history and mystery. Spanning over 2,400 hectares, this ancient woodland has witnessed centuries of human activity, from the Iron Age to modern times. Known for its dark, winding paths and dense foliage, the forest has a reputation that extends far beyond its natural beauty. It is a place where history and the supernatural intertwine, creating an atmosphere thick with unease. Epping Forest's history is as rich as it is dark. Dating back to the Iron Age, the forest has seen Roman battles, Norman invasions, and the notorious escapades of highwaymen like Dick Turpin. Turpin, the infamous 18th century highwayman, is said to have used a cave in the High Beach area as a hideout. His presence is just one of many that have left an indelible mark on the forest. The woods are also believed to be a burial ground for murder victims, including those of the infamous Cray twins. The supernatural claims of Epping Forest are numerous and varied. Paranormal investigators and thrill seekers have long been drawn to its haunted paths, hoping to catch a glimpse of the otherworldly. Stories of ghostly apparitions, poltergeist activity, and eerie encounters have been reported for centuries. The forest's reputation as one of Britain's most haunted places is well-deserved, with countless tales of spectral sightings and unexplained phenomena. The dense woodland of Epping Forest provides the perfect cover for the unknown. Visitors often report feeling an overwhelming sense of being watched, even when alone. Shadowy figures are said to lurk behind trees, and the sounds of disembodied voices and footsteps are common. As the sun sets and darkness envelops the forest, its true nature is revealed. Epping Forest transforms from a picturesque natural reserve into a labyrinth of fear and mystery, where the past and the present seem to coexist in an uneasy truce. The haunted history of Epping Forest is deeply woven into the fabric of its past. The tales of ghostly apparitions and eerie encounters are numerous and well documented. One of the most notorious figures associated with the forest is Dick Turpin, the infamous highwayman. Turpin's cave in High Beach served as his hideout for many years, and his spirit is said to still roam the area. Visitors have reported seeing a shadowy figure on horseback, believed to be Turpin himself, galloping through the forest before vanishing into thin air. The haunted history doesn't stop with Turpin. Epping Forest is also believed to be the haunt of Queen Boudica, the fierce leader of the Iceni tribe who led an uprising against the Romans in AD 60-61. Her ghost is said to appear near the ancient earthworks within the forest, where she and her army once fought. Sightings of her spirit, clad in battle attire, have been reported by those who venture into the depths of the woods. The forest's dark reputation is further fueled by its role as a burial ground for murder victims. The proximity to London made it an ideal dumping ground for bodies, and many believe that the spirits of these unfortunate souls still linger. The Cray twins, notorious gangsters of the 1960s, are rumored to have buried several of their victims in the forest. Paranormal investigators often report cold spots and a sense of dread when exploring these areas, as if the forest itself is imbued with the anguish of those who met a grisly end within its confines. Epping Forest is also home to numerous ghostly apparitions. One of the most famous is the ghost of a man in a tricorn hat and cape, often seen riding a black horse. This spectral figure has been spotted by countless visitors over the years, always disappearing before anyone can get too close. Another well-known apparition is that of a headless biker, seen near the Wake Arms roundabout. This eerie sight has caused more than one motorist to swerve off the road in shock. The ghost of a young girl who drowned near the King's Oak pub is also a frequent sight. Her spirit, often seen near the water's edge, is said to appear in a white dress, her face a mask of sorrow. Those who have encountered her report a profound sense of sadness, as if the weight of her tragic fate is still felt in the present day. These tales, along with countless others, contribute to the forest's fearsome reputation and ensure that its haunted history will not be forgotten. The chilling tales of ghostly encounters in Epping Forest are as varied as they are numerous. One of the most spine-tingling stories comes from a group of teenagers who dared to camp overnight in the heart of the forest. As the night deepened and the fire crackled low, they began to hear the unmistakable sound of hoofbeats echoing through the trees. Terrified, they watched as a shadowy figure on horseback emerged from the darkness, only to disappear just as suddenly. The teenagers fled in panic, convinced they had seen the ghost of Dick Turpin himself. Another eerie encounter took place near Hangman's Hill, a spot infamous for its ghostly activity. A couple parked their car there, curious to see if the stories were true. To their horror, they heard blood-curdling screams coming from the woods. Moments later, they saw the apparition of a man hanging from a tree, swaying gently in the breeze. When they blinked, the figure was gone, leaving them shaken and convinced they had witnessed something supernatural. Poltergeist activity is also a common occurrence in Epping Forest. One visitor recounted how they felt a sudden push from behind while walking alone on a well-trodden path. Turning around, they found no one there, but the sensation of being watched remained. Others have reported being touched by unseen hands or feeling an icy breath on their necks, sending shivers down their spines. Perhaps the most unsettling story involves a spectral coach and horses seen at the Wake Arms roundabout. Late one foggy night, a motorist reported seeing a ghostly, horse-drawn coach hurtling towards him. The driver swerved to avoid a collision, but when he looked back, the coach had vanished. Shaken, he later learned that others had experienced similar sightings at the same spot, leading many to believe that the roundabout is a hotspot for paranormal activity. The ghost of a young girl who drowned near the King's Oak pub is another tragic figure said to haunt the forest. Several witnesses have reported seeing her standing by the water's edge, her white dress dripping wet, and her eyes filled with sorrow. One man claimed she reached out to him, her cold, ghostly hand brushing against his before she disappeared into the mist. Then there's the haunting near the ancient earthworks, where Queen Boudica's spirit is said to roam. A group of amateur ghost hunters reported seeing a figure clad in ancient armor, her eyes burning with fierce determination. They heard the distant sound of drums and marching feet, as if Boudica's army was still fighting their long-lost battle. Epping Forest's haunted reputation continues to attract those seeking to experience the paranormal. From shadowy figures and ghostly apparitions to chilling sounds and poltergeist activity, the forest is a veritable hotbed of supernatural phenomena, ensuring that its stories of terror and mystery will endure for generations to come. The legends surrounding Epping Forest do not end with fleeting apparitions and unsettling sounds. Over the years, the forest has become a setting for numerous accounts of eerie phenomena that seem to defy logical explanation. One particularly unsettling story involves a lone hiker who ventured into the woods after dusk. As he walked along a desolate path, he suddenly felt an overwhelming sense of dread, as though unseen eyes were following his every move. The sensation grew so intense that he sprinted back to his car, only to discover that his vehicle's engine had mysteriously stalled. To his horror, he found deep scratch marks on the car's doors, as if something had tried to claw its way inside. At Loughton Camp, a site steeped in history, the air is thick with the echoes of the past. Here, visitors have reported hearing the distant clash of swords and the rhythmic pounding of drums, as though the ancient army of Boudica were still preparing for battle. Some even claim to have seen ghostly figures of soldiers emerging from the undergrowth, only to vanish as quickly as they appeared. One night, a group of campers awoke to find their tents mysteriously moved and their belongings scattered, as though a spectral force had been playing with them while they slept. The haunted ponds of Epping Forest add another layer of terror to the forest's already grim reputation. One chilling story recounts the experience of a young couple who, drawn by the forest's mysterious allure, decided to visit one of the more secluded ponds. As they approached, they were struck by an intense feeling of sadness and despair. The girl, feeling a sudden compulsion, walked closer to the water's edge, where she claimed to hear whispers and see ghostly figures beneath the surface. Her boyfriend tried to pull her away, but she was overcome by an almost magnetic force, barely escaping the pond's clutches. Further chilling tales come from the area around the King's Oak pub, where the ghost of the young girl who drowned is often seen, but also heard. Locals recount hearing her mournful cries drifting through the trees on foggy nights. In one particularly eerie account, a passerby reported hearing the girl's cries, becoming more desperate as he neared the pub. When he turned to look, he saw a shadowy figure of a girl in old-fashioned clothing running towards him before disappearing into the night. One of the most terrifying places in Epping Forest is the area known as the Cursed Pond. This pond, deep in the forest, is rumored to be the site of several tragic deaths over the centuries. Witnesses have reported seeing ghostly figures standing on the water's surface, as well as hearing haunting, ghostly voices. On one occasion, a group of friends camping nearby saw a figure wading through the water, only to have it vanish as they approached. The supernatural occurrences at Epping Forest are not limited to just ghostly apparitions and strange sounds. The forest's dark history and notorious reputation for being a burial ground for murder victims add a layer of grimness to its haunting tales. For instance, the tale of a man who found a body buried beneath a freshly fallen tree serves as a grim reminder of the forest's morbid past. The discovery was made during a routine walk, and although the authorities were notified, the circumstances surrounding the death remain shrouded in mystery. Epping Forest, with its history of violence, mystery, and tragic events, continues to be a place where the supernatural thrives. Its haunted past and eerie legends ensure that every shadow and rustle of leaves may hide a story, yet untold. As the sun sets and shadows lengthen over Epping Forest, the air grows heavy with the weight of its storied past. The forest's dark history, from the turbulent times of Boudica's rebellion to the grisly crimes of the modern era, has left a lingering imprint that refuses to fade. Despite the passage of centuries, the spirits of Epping Forest continue to make their presence felt, offering a chilling reminder of the forest's haunted legacy. The legend of Dick Turpin, the infamous highwayman, remains one of the most persistent and chilling aspects of Epping Forest's supernatural lore. Turpin's restless spirit is said to wander the woods, particularly around Loughton Camp, where his criminal exploits were most active. Those brave enough to venture into his old haunts often report seeing shadowy figures darting between the trees, or hearing the distant sound of a horse's hooves, only to find nothing upon closer inspection. It is as if Turpin's ghost is forever trapped in the forest, replaying the final, fateful moments of his life. The forest's eerie reputation is also cemented by the unsettling experiences reported at Hangman's Hill and the Wake Arms roundabout. The legend of the hangman who allegedly drags cars uphill is a popular but chilling story that continues to captivate the imagination of locals and visitors alike. Whether an optical illusion or a genuine supernatural phenomenon, the idea of an invisible force manipulating vehicles is both fascinating and frightening. Similarly, the sighting of a headless biker and a ghostly horse-drawn coach at the Wake Arms roundabout add to the forest's mystique, suggesting that the spectral inhabitants of Epping Forest are not confined to the distant past, but remain active in the present. The haunted ponds of Epping Forest, with their history of tragic deaths and mysterious phenomena, also contribute to the forest's sinister reputation. The spectral figures seen gliding over the water and the mournful cries heard at the King's Oak pub reinforce the notion that the forest is a place where the line between the living and the dead is particularly thin. Visitors who have ventured too close to these haunted waters often leave with an unsettling feeling, as though they have glimpsed something that should remain hidden. Epping Forest's transformation from a royal hunting ground to a public park has not diminished its haunted allure. Despite modern developments and conservation efforts, the forest's dark history continues to manifest in ghostly apparitions and eerie phenomena. The tales of ghostly figures, mysterious sounds, and supernatural encounters ensure that Epping Forest remains one of England's most haunted locations, captivating those who seek to uncover its secrets. As the final light fades from the forest and the nocturnal sounds of Epping take over, the legacy of its haunted past endures. The forest's reputation for being a place of paranormal activity is not just a collection of ghost stories, but a testament to its rich and often tragic history. Epping Forest stands as a living monument to its past, where every rustle of leaves and shadowy figure may hold a piece of its haunting legacy. For those who dare to explore its depths, the forest offers a glimpse into a world where the echoes of history and the supernatural intertwine, leaving an indelible mark on all who enter.